Oh. All right. Let's see. Let's make sure we have sound. Sound check. Check. 1, 2, 3. Say something, Kevin.
Something, Kevin. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Well, I can hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right.
Hello.
Move this over here. All right. There's Kevin in all his. Oh, let me move this over here.
Is this what it looked like?
Pretty scary, huh?
I don't identify as a tall person, so
No.
sometimes when
Well,
I
you
see
see yourself as a lightweight, right?
like I visualize myself as a small person. Sometimes when I see myself on camera, it's surprising.
I think you are. You're like the Bushesha of 6'4" people. I think people that are really big and move like lightweights are interesting as the people who are really small but they're like tanks.
Yeah.
You know, they both have unfair advantages. They're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. You're supposed to be all gangly and good, have a good jump shot.
I'm jangly.
You're not supposed to be.
I don't have a good jump shot.
You're not supposed to be good. You're supposed to be able to dunk the ball.
Yeah,
Like that.
I
That's
don't
not
have
dunkable.
jumping legs. I have
Can you touch the rim?
no.
Come on.
What?
Really?
No.
Yes, you can.
What, can I jump off your back?
That's probably not gonna help you hit the rim.
So, yeah, slip off you like a banana peel.
I mean, you just, my at this point my spine will just crumble
Gross.
like sandstone, and then I'll be like this. Remember the
What's
first
that?
X-Men where the guy at the end like kind of
The
turns
bouncy
it-
guy?
Yes, that's what I'm like. Not gonna help you.
What about, I would have gone with Sandman, like in Spider-Man.
The Sandman. He was
But
pretty
let's
cool.
not talk about our backs. Let's have I don't want to get depressed. Can we rotate 180 degrees? Good. I like how you knew I meant that way. You didn't go face down. Anyway.
If I had thought of it, I would have done it.
So we're looking over our head-arm triangles here. So we're just gonna set up a basic one, right? Really, anytime, I like head-arm triangles, especially when a person is trying to frame away with this little guy here, right? If they're not diligent, I can put my hand on the old elbow here, and I'm gonna push while I move my head, and then I'm gonna scoop, and then get my gable grip, and as soon as I can, I wanna make sure that he can't get his arm back. Right, that's not good if he does, so I'm going to take my head, I'm going to go boop, right on the floor, as close to his head as I can get, right? I'm just going to keep my my old gable grip here, right? The head scooping arm is going to be the palm down arm here, right, for reference. But we push that elbow across and immediately head on the floor, right? So now we want to get our whole body to the same side that my head is on, right? So we're going to do like a nice little knee cut. I like to just pop up as I drive my shoulder into their face here, and I'm just going to come over their body here. Just make sure you don't get stuck back into the guard, because we need to be able to get our hips all the way down to the old ground here, and if we're in their legs, we're not going to be able to do that, so that's bad. We just need to get over here without getting tangled up. But once I'm here, I'm going to stay on the side of them, and now I'm going to start dropping my hips slow. Alright, I'm going to try and keep my left elbow, the one that's scooping his head, I want to keep that on the ground as much as I can. Alright, and I'm going to find this nice comfortable spot where I can keep my head in contact with him here, kind of pushing his neck into the choke. And I'm going to drop my hips down. And I'm going to keep my elbows and my shoulders all in. And I'm going to just sink my shoulder down, down, down into that space. And I'm just going to try and touch my left shoulder to the floor here. Right, just push it down to the floor, a little bit of a squeezy do here, and let's see how this goes. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sleepy kind of.
This one, especially with the gable grip, it tends to be a little bit slower, but I like it better than the rear naked choke grip. I find that it's less cranky, but that's my personal preference. The goal, what we want to do when we're doing this head-on triangle is really focus on dropping our shoulder down instead of trying to squeeze up, right? Because if I try and pull up from the arm that's on bottom here, right, all the pressure is going to go up into the back of his neck, and that's not what we're trying to do, right? I'm not trying to drive my forearm into the back of his neck. I want my shoulder to go to the side of his neck here. So instead, I'm thinking about dropping my shoulder in. So I should be on this side. Right, if I'm up here and I'm trying to like keep my hips up and drive in, what tends to happen is my shoulder's going to go into his face. Right, and that's nice if you hate the person and you just want them to suffer, but it's not going to make them choke. Right, instead we need to pull everything back a little bit and then drop down. Right, and then this side I'm going to be squeezing this shoulder in. Right, but what I should be thinking about is trying to get as close to the floor as we can here. Right, and my head is just gonna stay close to his head, like touching and maybe even pushing in a little bit. Right, but I just want to drop my shoulder down to the floor, keeping a nice tight gable grip. Hips down, and then I'm gonna drop my lat and try and just push the shoulder into that space here. I'm gonna give it a second, see how it feels. Squeeze a little bit more, low and slow. Go, go, go. Where is it? Where is it? It's almost there. Nice. And then just take your time. Squeeze as hard as you can. Give it 10 seconds. Don't be one of those people who squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and let it go. And it's why isn't it working? Let's squeeze, 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 let it go. Right. It's going to take a second, especially with some of these chokes that only cut off half of the neck. It might take longer than usual. Typically, these head-arm chokes, north-south chokes tend to take a while when I do them. Darcy.
Do it this way. Yeah, if you have it unlocked, then the person's usually not going anywhere. So you might as well just chill out for a while.
And make sure when you get to this side of the arm, you want to stay tight here, right? My head is actively pushing into here, and then I'm driving in, right? As I push, usually as I do this, I'm trying to actually use my face to push the arm the rest of the way. But I need to be super tight here. I can't just be give me a lot of space, because if I give him space, he's going to get his arm back, right? So if he's framing, right, usually I can get it here, and then I'm going to push and then drive.
I like that. I like that instead of trying to push the arm right off the bat. No, go back for a second. Instead of trying to just push the arm, which can be hard, I like that you gassed.
Use the head.
Pay attention, kids.
Use your head. Anyway, head on the floor, because we need something in the way. We can't let his elbow back. Boom. Right, that also allows me to just start driving my shoulder into his face for no reason. But I'm going to use that weight to help pick my hip up and get my legs over his hips. Right, and then now I'm going to make sure that my left elbow stays flat, because I don't want to pull it off the floor. I want to push myself into the grip, and I'm going to let my hips drop, and I'm going to just drive my weight in. And if I've been here for a long time and it's still not working, I'm going to start scooting my way up and around. I'm going to be tight. It's going to be great. So nuzzle with the head, trying to push your head into it. Like lions when they're being nice to each
other. The views expressed by Kevin do not, anyway,
it's normal.
Represent the views of Samurai Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Where else can you do a head-arm triangle?
From closed guard, it's always the best place to do it.
It's so rude. That hurts. Half guard? Can you do a half guard? I've done it from half guard.
Where you get caught? Or when you do it on purpose?
Oh yeah. This is fun. When you're on bottom and a person is hanging out here. Have you ever done this?
No. Does this work?
Yo, yeah, for real.
Yo?
Yeah.
Really?
People do this a lot. People like to hang out here and work, right? Because it's here is a good place to try and get more.
Yes.
Right? But this is also a good place to get head-arm triangled, right? Because this is one arm in, one arm out, right?
So do I have to like knock you over first in order to do
You
this?
don't have to, but it's nice. Usually when I do it, I'll like bridge into them and peel their face back and then get the gable grip.
You gotta do this one. You gotta do the one where you're in the half guard, right? And we're here and you go to get my arm, right? No, but you go in and get my arm. No, go back and go over like a reverse. And as you go, then you do this. But then it's a dart.
That's a darce.
You could probably do it.
That's the darce that we do on bottom too. When we do the escape, where we're like bottom here, we make some space.
Yes.
And space in.
And that's a darce.
Yeah.
It's not the.
Well, isn't that an anaconda? That's an anaconda.
Whatever. Is it? It is. Yeah. It's fun. Is that right? Come back.
Yeah, that's an anaconda. Just because it's upside down and the arms are backwards.
So you're here.
So
my hair like this.
Make space,
Oh, so you come
turn,
here.
and then we're here. Because the darts would be this. So this is anaconda.
You say so.
Oh wait,
I think this is a darce.
you're right. Because an anaconda would be
that way, something like that.
this.
Yes. That's it.
No, an anaconda is this one.
Yeah, but you're gonna come on top.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the anaconda
You're
here. 'Cause-
right, you're
what was that?
You're right. It's fine.
Oh, sorry. Felt like I know. I've been in enough darces to know when a dart went the difference between a darce and an anaconda.
Do you use it? Do you ever use the how to try a little pass? Like how?
Often near side. If you do a near side
I
underhook,
think that's weird.
some people are very good with a near side underhook.
What are they? Let me see.
You know who's famous for that is BJ Penn. And Sean Williams does this too. If you go back, in the original, Sean put out like 3 or 4 DVDs way back like 10 years ago. The Sean Williams guard was one of those DVDs, but another one was the near side underhook. Yeah.
You know about giving this arm over and
Yeah.
doing stuff?
So I think BJ Penn is very good at this as well. Where turn this way. Here. So everyone's always sort of here, but if you see how did he do it? He would get here, right? You come up,
Oh, that's interesting.
right? And then if you can, right? You don't need that. And then you come over. Now I don't do that, as probably everyone can tell. I don't do that pass, but it's a super unconventional way to pass. And so therefore, if you get good at it, you're gonna mess up a lot of people. And it's another one that people will feel like they're getting one over on you because you're not trying for the traditional underhook.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come up, they probably lift up. So if we're, come this way, I think you trap it, right?
Yeah, like coming
Yeah,
like-
well that would be different. Now you're gonna be, yes. So once they have this is really, now I can't do anything. Right, but you don't have my arm across anymore. You can still pass, yes, there you go. Right, and it's still easy, right? Let's say just start from the half guard, and then scoop my arm, go here. Let's just start from here. You don't need this. And now you're gonna try to practice passing from here, right? And this should be easy, right? 'Cause I have no way to really stop you.
From here, I can just drop
just
it
flatten
and
out,
finish,
yeah.
I think. It would be better without having my leg caught.
But that's okay, right? I mean, you can still, right? Because I have no power
Yeah.
in any, like I can let you, I mean, I'm trapped by my own leg here,
Yeah.
right? So in order for me to go to the only place I'm really free to go, where I wouldn't want to anyway, right, would be to unhook my leg, and that's going to give you this position, right? And it's the same thing if you have any near side underhook. Like if we just stay here, that's a body. Now you're going to have a body lock, right? So let's say you're out. Let's say you're here like this, right? Now, because your leg is able to post, I can't take you to my right, and it's going to be really hard to do it anyway. So my only direction is to go to my left. I have no power.
Because I'm all the way over.
Right, and if you get your shoulder under my chin, right, and you make me look that way, there's no way I'm going anywhere.
And this is where usually people do the.
Yeah. Now I can't. Yeah, it's almost impossible. The tricky part is getting the underhook.
Getting the underhook.
But it's.
Do they usually get it with like the double underhook there?
You know, I'm trying to recall. I never. Maybe I'll go back and watch that DVD. Right. So if we're here, right,
And I guess I'd be.
Because I can imagine getting this underhook without first flattening them out and having this underhook as well. But it could
I mean, that would be a body lock.
Yeah.
Right. So like if I'm here and I have a body lock on you.
Right, and I'm able to come up, but then it would be very hard for you to like get your arm out. To get my arm out. For you to get you or use your left arm to go underneath and make an underhook from a body lock is pretty hard. Right? I mean, you can stick your fingers in there. Gotta put your fingers in there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard. Right? And so then the people just come up and then they scrape off.
But the way that I'm thinking of, it's much more just like a,
Like getting your elbow to the floor
Yeah.
situation.
you know, so it's like sneaky. Maybe we're battling here, right? And you're getting up on your elbow, right? And I come like this.
But you don't get body locks
What?
generally?
Well, maybe you'll go for my underhook, right? So if I'm here, right, and then we go here.
Do you tend to put your head on the ground on this side next to the head, or do you like it on the other side? And
I would like from here. This is a very awkward position.
Because I like have this underhook still, right? And I'm like,
What options do you have here? If I get to here, what are you gonna do here?
I'm gonna take you back.
Can you? Go ahead.
Okay.
No, that didn't work out very well. But you didn't take my back at least.
Yeah, but like
I guess you have to have. Maybe you have to have the arm across.
Well, I mean,
Let's see.
because if I have this underhook, this is problematic.
It's
But if you have this super deep, I think that trumps my underhook. But if I manage to
Let's
get
say
this
you're
back,
here,
then you're screwed.
So if I'm here, so let's say.
This, you don't have enough control.
Mm-hmm.
I think, because I still think I can.
Yeah, I have to really. Maybe I don't know if I can.
But
pinch it.
if you can get your head to the floor and you can keep it like tight, I might not be able to create that space here to get my elbow back.
Let me see if I can just keep your elbow.
Mhm.
Just fight a little bit. See if I can keep the elbow tight here.
Yeah.
Does that really work?
Yeah, as long as you make it so that I can't create space between
So I can't let you get into like a
the butterfly or anything.
or the 100 kilo position even.
You? Me.
You. Like so if I just do that, yeah, because I mean maybe you're getting too much of an angle. So if I'm here, my instinct, well even here, like if you get this out, now you have an underhook. Now we're going to be in a battle, right? Because all I'm going to have is this.
Yeah, but you can't even do your casing
I know.
thing. So
I have
that's
to-
not, you don't want that
Yeah.
either.
So here, I have to control your elbow.
Yeah. The elbow
This elbow cannot go to your body.
This would be better.
This is kind of checkmate-ish.
Not checkmate.
But it's
'Cause I
going to at
still-
least, now I'm on a submission as
Yeah,
opposed
but-
to just a pass.
But if I still have your leg, I can make it very difficult for you to finish that submission.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're in a good position to pass with it. Yeah.
So let's see, come back here. My recollection is that you want to kind of like come in here and even get up on if you get up on your elbow, to stop it.
And keep your head down. Right?
Makes sense.
So now, now I have almost like a body lock here. Well, I
Your-
mean, I have double
your-
underhooks.
Your hands are very far apart.
But so good, try to get your elbow to the floor, or get your
Yeah.
elbow back to your body, right? It makes it hard.
I mean, you have nice long legs. You'll be able to elevate a little bit.
Yeah, and you're pinning this side really well, and your head's kind of in the way, so it's hard for me to be able to turn towards that side and do anything.
I wonder, but if we're talking about getting here and just your head,
Right? How does that feel?
Being under the elbow is going to be important.
Yeah.
If I can.
If you can get
if I
that
can
out,
that's bad.
so I have to keep this up high. Can you head and arm triangle me?
No.
No. So you have to really, you can't, even here it's not enough, there's too much space.
Yeah.
So I have to really come in, try to get that elbow elevated. And then from there, maybe, if I can pass.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I'm in okay, even here it's awkward. Right, because as soon as if I don't put this over, right, you're not gonna just let me do that.
Yeah, but I think being able to put your head on the floor there is a good way to make sure that you can't get your elbow back. And then once I get my legs through, if you're not vigilant, I can use that head to kind of push the arm over the rest of the way and really drive in the head-on triangle at that point. But if you are vigilant and I can't push it across, then I'm still in like a good cross-side position.
I'm just trying to think of ways, 'cause I don't remember. I don't really think. I mean, usually my bottom arm is super hidden so that you don't give up.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, like, how do you encourage somebody or take advantage of, their space in order to make that near side?
I mean, are you trying to invite them up so that you can kind of get into that space? Because, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Some people are good at this stuff, though. I mean, I think if you did a near side underhook, but I'm not sure how much that would actually get you close. It'd probably get you a little bit closer to the head and arm choke.
I think if you can take them down with a body lock and then you wind up in their half guard in this position, then you're going to have like that underhooky thing.
I mean, if you can get, in general, like if I'm here, if I get into this position, I like to get this elbow high.
I feel like that's unlikely in a half guard and more of a mount thing.
Yeah. That's, the mount is the way.
Can I
You're
try?
going to do it from the mount?
I want to try this from half guard again. Trying to get
From your side? Or from?
Yeah, just trying to get into this double position here. Like, do you feel like you can get your arm back at any point?
I think it's going to be hard for you to get my arm over your head. Because I'm just going to hold, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is, like, I'm not going to let you put my arm across.
Yeah.
And so I can hold, now this may not,
But then once you hold, if you're here, then I can start
Yeah.
working, trying to get this knee through.
all right. But even here, it's going to be hard, even though you have my arm. You're going to pass.
Yeah.
But you're not going to.
Yeah, but that's all I want, really.
Yeah. So go back.
I would like this position, but if I can't do it,
If the person is foolish,
you.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to that position again, and for some reason, like now do you have to keep your head down?
I think so.
Why?
Because I think if I lift it up, you're going to be able to get this back
Yeah,
here.
but what if I do this then?
Or you'll be able to turn into me and get your left hand in front. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's true.
I
Frame.
think I can be here and kind of keep you boxed in with my
Yeah.
head and my shoulder.
If I'm here in this position, I'm just gonna hold because I don't, I'm not gonna let this arm like wave out here in the wind.
Yeah. Because then I can start.
Yeah. Now, if you start doing that, even here, even if you get it, the elbow's not great there, but I can still prevent you from passing the arm across.
Yeah.
Now, preventing you from passing now becomes a lot harder. But yes. So, you're not going to get head and arm. I wonder if you can do, like, if we're here and you go back under, can you get Ezekiel's? Can you start working Ezekiel's?
Maybe. I don't like
No.
Ezekiel's here. They're not useful because I can't take advantage of the arm that comes up in any sense.
But can you now?
And now my head is off the floor.
Yeah, but if I do that, I don't think that's any better. Because if I,
But if you get a good frame in there,
yeah.
I think this is good.
You're gonna pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get that on and out, but it's not gonna help. Like in terms of stopping the passing.
Yeah.
Um,
it's a strong pass.
Do you ever try to do head and arm just from this straight?
If I do head and arm, it's not from that near side
What
one.
about from mount? Do you try to do it from mount?
Mount sometimes, but it's a weird angle. Usually I end up doing something else. But yeah, if you can pop this over here, you can. Definitely.
People. I think I probably get it more from the mount than anything else.
Really?
Especially anybody who's like protecting their neck from the mount.
people who are afraid of collar chokes?
I mean, I don't know why, but I mean, this is, if I can get underneath, I usually try to get it across. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Like swimming across?
So it doesn't, yeah, like if I'm here, right? I gotta swim
What do you
here.
mean?
I try to do that.
Mhm.
So I try to come underneath, and then here, and then I'll go.
Yeah, I have
That's
trouble
kind of the,
getting my head to this side to be able to push it across usually because a lot of people are really.
you know, sometimes I'll try to come under. Yeah, so I like to do that. Just kind of get underneath the
But then,
elbow.
like, how when a person is really rigid here, are you able to get your face to the side to be able to slip? Or
I
is
would
it-
guess that, I mean, it's hard to think about it from like a static position, but a lot of times people are trying to go this
Oh,
way.
yeah.
And so what I'll do is I'll keep my hand like that. And so I won't really stop. And then as they go, right, as they go, yeah, I'll just kind of let it slide through,
Mhm.
right? And then I'm here. And that's where that's kind of my way. Or, I mean, you can start like here and you get that cross. You can do that too, right? If you get the gift wrap, you can come off. You don't do the gift wrap to that?
I do think I find it like it makes it difficult to do. I feel like the gift drop is the kind of an opposite move to that.
I mean, if we're here on the gift wrap,
Yeah, but then it's like you have to get this all the way in, and at some point you're gonna have to let go of this as well. So there's gonna be that space where it's like it's a window of opportunity. But if
you know, it's
do that,
it's if usually I'll get that. I'll have a gift wrap, and then I'll try to get it off of there, and I'll try to do a head and arm or a back take. You know, it's like one of those things where if they're here and then they go to their left, yes. So here, and then you can come back, right? And you have that back
Because for
control.
me, if I get a gift wrap, I'm more likely to do a Kimura-esque thing.
I think for me, head and arm is the more conservative option than the back control. I've had a million people blow out of back control.
Really?
I mean, there's a lot of good people that can get out of back control, but head and arm is, once you get there, I think it's a pretty dominant position.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're going to finish off that can be a question of like centimeters in terms of how much pressure you can pull down on somebody.
But at least from a failed head-arm triangle, you can get to back control really
Yeah, I
easily.
don't lose anything
Yeah.
from, I mean, really the only way out is to give me your back. You know? Or just hold on to my leg, or, you know, here, well, you know what we should do? We should go over some things to do and with some common defenses to head and arm. You want to do them? I'll ask you what you like to do, right? So I'll show you some of the ones that I've seen that are very common, and we can, if we're the same, then you can just show them, and if we're different, then. So, sort of the most common is like kind of posting, right? Like I've had people like kind of bring their arm up, right? And so you see like the idea is Kevin wants to like close this gap between my shoulder and my neck. And so what you get is go back for a second, because it's going to be hard to do it when the person's already fully in, right? So sometimes do you ever get this where the person like they'll post on their own head, you know, and they'll do this?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite way to break through this defense?
Yeah. So put my head on the floor. I'm gonna get my hips over. Right, and I'm gonna keep my head on the floor, and I'm gonna keep driving it up as high as I can go.
Oh, you're gonna break my wrist.
And then I'm gonna drop down, and then drop my shoulder in, be nice and tight, and slowly
I'm gonna go to
adjust.
sleep there. That's good. Yeah. Go back again. I want to see that again. I'm trying to think. You know what I'm talking about? Where they answer the phone? Is that the defense?
What I do when people do that is I pretend that they're not doing it.
You just keep grinding it.
Right? Because like I'm here really strong, I use my legs and my body weight to drive down here. And if they're answering the phone, they're not trying to get their arm back into a good position. So that's fine, right? Try to stay tight as we can. And I'm just going to use all the strong things to break down their defense here. Right? And get nice and deep. And then I'm going to get set up, just creating space with his shoulder.
I'm trying to like keep this shoulder down off my neck, off the left side of my neck.
And we just gotta keep squeezing. He'll give up eventually. We're gonna win.
Oh, there you go. See, this is annoying. See, if you just like, if you don't, if you give up, like this is like a long time for a choke, right?
It hurts my neck.
It hurts your neck. I'm trying to pull this down.
That feels better.
Woo!
Yeah.
So you gotta like, I like that little adjustment, and then moving. You know what I mean? Like it's not big movements. It's like just keeping that pressure and like inching. Because it's really just my fingers.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good.
Yeah, just slow and steady. Like, if you need to make an adjustment, like, continue squeezing and push into it as you squeeze, and then when it's set, then you can kind of relax your body and continue to sink down. But yeah, like most of the head arm triangle defenses, like answering the phone or grabbing the leg.
Oh, you go to sleep. The last time I went to sleep was I grabbed the leg.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, those things will work against a person who isn't strong enough to break down that, like pulling away of the shoulder. But against, if you use that grip is so strong,
let's do that.
you're so able to drive in with your legs.
Is this another version? The leg is just another version. You can go this side now. I like this side better. This is the side I went to sleep. So the leg this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is where I hook underneath. And so I'm using my leg to kind of pull.
He's trying to disconnect his shoulder.
Yeah, so now you can see my left, we should move backwards because I don't know if they can see this. So you hook, right? And you can see this is an extreme example. I don't think Kevin would let me get to my side this much. But there's no blocking, nothing on my carotid right here, on my right neck. So, you get in here, but usually you're more like this, and then the guy goes like this and then tries to pull down, right? And then keeps their head up and their head up. Ugh. Yeah, and it's just a matter, it's so uncomfortable that, and there's no
reason for me to not crank your neck off. Like, you're sitting in that position, you're not doing anything to escape.
Yeah, there are escapes. I don't know, it's one of those things where the escape, I think, relies on you to put a lot of energy into the system. So from here, I'm trying to remember how I used to escape. Where you come in and you gotta stay up. So if we're here, and then I think if you can stay heavy on me, they roll. That's the one I showed you.
But I don't know that this is really an escape because I'm still in this terrible position.
That's the one I made up.
I
made that up, yeah.
Been around for like 100 years.
I made it up.
I'm about 110, so I know.
I made it up. No, this is where here you get set up, right? And hold on to your elbow. And over and over.
Oh, and then you get the arm.
Yeah, and sneak out and I get this. Yeah,
That's been around a lot.
I'm sure someone else has done it, but I totally.
You've rediscovered it.
It's like when Tesla invented electricity. Alongside Edison.
We never really invent anything in grappling. I think we just all rediscover stuff.
It makes me wonder if all of grappling was erased, like how much of the current meta would be recreated if they
Eventually,
yeah.
like the monkeys typing Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think eventually. Well, I think we owe gi to the Japanese.
Metas?
What do you know, like the you know, like
judo or
like all that comes from like the Greeks wrestled gi. So
you should do that. Why do we do that?
People feel weird about it. And I think the Indians wrestled, at least originally, naked.
Like which Indians?
Like the Indians, like the Southeast Asian Indians. You know, the gi is something that is Japanese.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have a Japanese culture or a reason to wear a gi in combat, you wouldn't have gi wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's what jiu-jitsu is, I think. right? Everything would be.
Yeah, all the weird nuance stuff. There's still like nuance technique for no-gi that's really weird, like all the rope guard stuff. Like,
I think eventually.
I think that took one
people
band
would-
and a lot of mushrooms.
I think that's a. It's an interesting thing because jiu-jitsu and judo is like stand up primarily, and then in order to beat people with superior throws, and this is in Japan, like they started saying like we're just gonna play a guard,
Yeah.
like we're gonna pre-throw ourselves,
Yeah.
and so you have to come down, like you're not gonna get a big opponent anymore.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go down onto the ground,
On the top.
and but that is, like in regular wrestling, you don't really see that very often.
I thought we were talking about jiu-jitsu. What do you mean?
So what you're saying with grappling, with the meta,
Well, I
would
mean,
be replicated.
if you kept the same rule set, basically.
Like the reason why you have these guards is because people used to be good at throwing and
Yeah.
used to be good originally, and that's why you just said like I can't beat this guy in a standing match, so I'm gonna
fake it.
basically fake a Tomonagi and drag him to the ground. I mean, even if it's on top of me, so be it. I'm still better off.
Yeah.
And then, but that's no. I don't know that what I'm asking is like, is that just a historical accident? Because the
Yeah.
Japanese were wearing gis at the time. Because the Greeks, I don't think of wrestling as anything like that. I mean, you have counter wrestling.
Well, they came from they had like armor that they had to wear, right, for their jiu-jitsu practice in Japan.
Well, you would just have the regular kimono, right?
Well,
You just have the
they-
regular
they
jacket
sort of
and
wear,
pants.
like training clothes.
I mean,
like
no
those.
samurai went into battle, as far as I know, without
And a gi.
armor. Yeah, just a gi. It was like, come on, jump in my guard, bro.
But I think to play the game, they were like, since it came from a martial art where wearing armor was normal, they were like, we're gonna wear something because we still need grips to use that we would have used to grab armor plate, right? We need something to grab to be able to do this game that we've done. I think could be wrong.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I think
I
that's
mean,
why the gi was implemented.
when I don't know that wearing the armor. It's an interesting question because you have.
I'm talking about like the transition from Japanese jiu-jitsu like as a martial art into judo, and then into jiu-jitsu. Like,
Yeah. No. I mean, what I was going to say was that the samurai arts have all kind of been divided,
Mhm.
right? You have the archery, which is different, like horseback and standing, or I guess ground archery, right? Like we don't learn any of that stuff. And then you have like kendo, which is like the sword, or aikido, which is I think the drawing. Like they've sliced it up literally into different kind of disciplines.
Mhm.
But like nobody that I know of, I mean I don't know in kendo can you do any like judo in kendo? I would assume not.
I don't know.
You can do a foot sweep.
Like take
Because that'd be pretty devastating, right? Like you think in a sword battle, if I can like put you on your ass.
But like, get past the sword first. I think is the issue. But yeah.
Well, but
yeah.
sometimes
But-
you're across swords or something, right? I don't know anything else about swordplay, but like let's say you're at a point where I blocked or I parried,
Sure. Are
and
you
you've
allowed to-
advanced a little too far and you've exposed your foot, and maybe you get into a foot sweep or some sort of throw.
Or use the stick to trip them up.
Maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking
I've
of
never
like
seen it.
why we don't do like why did Jigoro Kano decide like I'm going to take off this arm?
Yeah.
Or, because he learned traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu from like old
Yeah.
samurai jiu-jitsu masters or whoever was left.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that stuff is no good, that stuff's no good, and like, his goal was to, I think, preserve martial art, like the knowledge and the cultural history, but at the same time forge a sport that was designed to be safe-ish,
Mhm.
but also build character, right? So I wonder, well, that was his primary
Sure.
goal. That was his primary goal.
Sure.
I don't know that he was thinking like we're going to create this system of self-defense where we're just like modern day samurai. That's not. I'm pretty sure that's not what he wanted to do.
Visualizing that one day Keenan Cornelius would come out with the lapel encyclopedia, all different ways to tie a person up with just their lapels.
I mean, maybe that's what that old samurai did. I don't know.
One day, this thing's gonna be huge.
But I'm just saying that I think a lot of wrestling would definitely have evolved because humans have always like we've run. There's like three basic things with human sport. I think
Right,
all
wrestling,
sports.
swimming.
well, maybe Swift, maybe five, maybe four. Running, throwing, wrestling and swimming. Yeah, I think that's maybe diving. You throw that in there, but I guess that's kind of like swimming. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the four most fundamental, basic things that a human kind of does physically.
I think combat, endurance, and strength are the three that
So we would have still wrestled, but I don't know if anybody would have ever said,
put on these jammies.
A, put on the chains, and then B, like let's say we're just wrestling, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna sit down and play a guard.
I think that's a legit strategy because even cats know that if you go on your back and engage your feet,
Well,
like,
one of the
you gotta
core
put
principles of wrestling is
It depends on the rule set.
But most rule sets,
I mean, are we grappling or are we wrestling?
most grappling rule sets incorporate some concept of the pin as being a winning, right? If I pass your guard and I pin you to the ground for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I will win that match.
A point is different than.
No, but it's saying it's a pin, right? Like that's a pin. Like if I pass your guard,
The pin is the thing.
and if I mean, this is one of those weird things. Like let's say we just have a battle, right? And we stay in half guard the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of
That's
who wins that is often, I won't say, it's certainly not clear,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So,
that's why the submission is the best way to do it because you make a person give up.
yes, but
It's
that's,
very
I'm not arguing that point, I'm saying the pin. So I'm saying, like, why would you as a wrestler, like, decide, I'm gonna sit down?
You would in
Right.
that rule set, but if it was a submission rule set, you know, sitting down allows you to preserve
I
energy.
mean, I mean, it's an interesting question because you had the ancient Greek art of, what was it called? Pancration.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's striking too, so maybe it's not the perfect analogy, but they had submissions.
Yeah.
And even in wrestling for a long time had essentially de facto submissions
Yeah.
where
I mean,
it was so painful that
Yeah.
you let yourself get pinned so that you could end the match.
Yeah.
Right? So you would have submissions, but even in that it's kind of an interesting thing of like, would somebody really just sit down? Seems like such a bad idea.
I've done it. I got into a fight once in school,
Yeah, you said get my
and
heart
someone
up.
was like trying to fight me, and I sat down. I was like, "Let's go."
Now, had you done jiu-jitsu yet, or is this proto jiu-jitsu?
We had done like a little bit of like ground game in the martial arts class that I took, and it was like right after that, and I was feeling really confident in my ability to stand up in base and kick shins.
I think did it depend on like a gentleman's rule that you wouldn't kick each other when you were down?
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I felt really safe.
Anyway, all right, we'll get more on the near side underhook, guys. Take it easy.